This is it, your ultimate cheat sheet to start the year out right, stocking your prepper pantry. The best deals, the best tricks, and what to look for in January, coming right up. Hey guys, it's Gerald with Wicked Prepared. Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, we focus on emergency preparedness and everyday preparedness with no-nonsense ways to be better prepared for whatever this crazy world decides to throw our way. In today's video, I'm going over a list of what to buy in January to get the most bang for your prepper buck. I'd like to make this a series that I can continue monthly throughout the year. So if this is something that you guys like, be sure to let me know down in the comments so that I know it's valuable to you. I'm going to talk about what kind of items to look for each month from a prepper's point of view in terms of saving the most money. We all know that is getting harder and harder to do, but one of the many benefits of being a prepper or just a reasonably prepared person, looking ahead, planning ahead, and stocking ahead, is that it allows you to control your spending a lot more than people who don't. There are a lot of things that dictate pricing. So I'm going to be looking at things like sale cycles and seasonality, things like that, to give you a list of ideas of things that you might want to think about picking up each month. And I'll also drop some of my best tips, tricks, and hacks for saving money any time of the year. I do a lot of hauls on this channel, prepper pantry hauls, and people love seeing what I've picked up and getting ideas for things that they might want to add to their preps. But sometimes I've gotten something on sale, and then by the time I get the haul filmed and the video out to you guys, the sale's over. And I always feel bad about telling people about the great deal that I got that they can't get anymore. So this is hopefully going to help with that a little. So what kind of deals are we looking at in January? Let's start with clearance deals, because that can often be the absolute best price that you are ever going to see on a lot of items if you can get a good clearance price. And January is a great time for clearance. Of course, we have the after Christmas clearance. Now, this is not just wrapping paper and decorations. There are always deals on food items that came out just for the holiday season, and then they go on clearance as soon as the holiday is over because it's not a regularly stocked item. And I have found some great prepper pantry items on post-holiday and seasonal clearance. I have found instant oatmeal. It might be gingerbread flavor or pumpkin spice flavor, something like that, but it's still good. And if you can get it for less than the regular instant oatmeal, that's a win. I usually see pancake mix, great for the prepper pantry. Once again, it might be flavored. This year they had, I think, snickerdoodle pancake mix, but it's still a great pantry item. Just Add Water pancake mix is a great item to have on hand for emergencies. And you can do more than just make pancakes and waffles. I've made beer bread out of pancake mix. You don't even have to use beer. You can use soda, any carbonated beverage, really. I have made biscuits out of Just Add Water pancake mix and just a few extra shelf-stable ingredients. So for me, that is a must-have prepper pantry item. Anytime I find a deal on it, I am going to grab it. You can find mixes, like lots of other kind of mixes besides pancake mix, things like cake mixes, cookie mixes, bread mixes that you can pick up for anywhere from 50 to 90% off after the holidays. The further you get away from the holiday, the more things are going to be gone, but also the lower the price gets on what's left. Like, it's getting a little late in January now, but most Christmas clearance is up to 75 or 90% off. And depending on your store, your area, you might still find some good things left. Like just yesterday, I found a bunch of these cookie mixes for less than $1. And I was super, super surprised to find a whole bunch of these cinnamon flavored pistachios for like $2.50 something for a big bag. That is a fantastic deal. Nuts are a good, solid, medium-term prepper pantry item. And of course, there's always candy, lots of candy left after the holidays that goes on clearance. And it's usually a good idea to have some sweet treats in your prepper pantry, just a little bit of guilty pleasure. And then you can also use them for baking. Or you can repurpose these for the next holiday to save some money. I have totally separated out the green and red M&Ms from a Christmas bag and use them for cookies and other kind of treats for Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. Remember that anywhere you can save money, even if it's not specifically on a prepper pantry item, that frees up money in your budget that you can spend elsewhere, like on prepper pantry items or gear. Check out any gift sets that are left after the holidays that go on clearance. They go on clearance and they often contain food items like mixes, seasonings, shelf-stable cheeses, meat sticks, condiments. A lot of times it's small bottles of condiments like jams, hot sauces, whatever it may be. Those can be great to have on hand for emergencies, because if your fridge is not working, like you don't have power for your fridge, you're not going to want to open a full-size container that you would then need to refrigerate. So a lot of gift sets also contain personal care items, things like body wash, lotion, shampoo, razors. These are all things that we can and should stock up on for our prepper pantry. Hygiene is still important after a disaster, and it's something we still need to think about and remember. I've also found lots of cleaning supplies that were holiday themed, holiday scented, rather, and they go on clearance sometimes after the holidays. Lots of cleaning, laundry, dish soap, hand soap, always a ton of holiday hand soaps usually left over that go on clearance. I have stocked up as low as like 10 cents a bottle on hand soap. Beyond the actual holiday clearance section, check out the meat department for clearance deals. Often the stores have like special items that they ordered in for those special holiday meals. And after the holidays, those will get marked down if they didn't sell before the holiday. Turkeys and hams, that's usually more around Easter and Thanksgiving, but sometimes you can find those items after Christmas as well. But really look for beef deals after Christmas, things like rib roast, prime rib, tenderloins. I have found amazing deals on gigantic beef briskets that I was able to cut up and corn myself to make homemade corned beef. And I made tallow out of a lot of the fat. Those briskets have a ton of fat. And of course, with any cut of meat like this, these post-holiday markdowns are usually really big pieces, but you can cut them down into smaller portions that you would use. You can freeze them. But of course, a big part of preparedness is reducing our dependence on our freezers. You can freeze deals that you find that's going to save you some money in the long run, provided you don't lose power and lose those contents of the freezer. But depending on what the meat is, you might be able to can it as well. And if you have a freeze dryer, you can freeze dry just about anything. That is a very flexible way of preserving food. So check out the meat department for those markdowns. Just make sure to deal with them in a timely fashion once you get them home, because they will be close to dates. That is why they're marked down. But most of those big holiday beef items are like shrink wrapped. Trust me, they'll be fine. I do it all the time if you deal with them promptly. Beef is one of those items that has been rising in price and is expected to continue to rise in price. So if you see a deal, grab it. More clearance deals in January. Look for markdowns on winter clothing, winter gear. Yes, I know it seems like winter has only just begun, and it has, but stores are always a season ahead. So yes, they are already starting to clear out winter gear in January. Look for things like hand warmers, foot warmers. Those are great to keep around for winter power outages. Keep in your vehicle, your bug out bag. They're inexpensive, but if you can find them on clearance, even better. Warm clothing, layering pieces, gloves, hats, boots, any kind of insulated and waterproof gear. Make sure you have enough for cold weather emergencies and have backups, because this is something that is expected to continue to go up in price due to things like tariffs. So if you can get a good clearance price now, it beats paying a higher price next season when you need something. There are deals in store. There's also deals online as well. One I've been checking out is 50% or more off of Fortress, like outerwear. If you're looking for higher tech, like higher quality brands, this is a really good one. They have special technology with their special insulation. It's patented. It's USA made. Keeps you warm even if it gets soaking wet. I've seen a demo of this. It was really, really cool. And the markdowns are awesome. I'm going to put a link to those down below for anyone who wants to check that out. You can usually find thermal underwear sets on clearance around this time. Things like long johns, cuddle duds. These are great to have on hand if the power goes out during the winter. It's cold in your house. Like adding that extra layer under your clothes can really, really help. And it's also a good idea to keep a set of these in your winter emergency kit in your vehicle if you can. If you're stranded and in your car in the cold in the winter, and whether you have to wait it out or you have to head out walking for help, you'll have that extra layer to put on. And as an added bonus, the gymnastics act of changing into them in your vehicle is going to warm you up some too. Trust me. You may also be able to still find clearance markdowns in the outdoor section of the store, like the camping section especially has a lot of great prepping items. These are a few deals that I have seen in this section of my Walmart this January. Another tip for saving money is to look for stores and companies that have referral programs or refer a friend or whatever they call it. If you like a product or a brand or a company or a store, chances are that you know other people who are like you who would probably like or appreciate it as well. We are always making recommendations to people we know. It's just human nature. And there are companies out there who will reward that because they would rather have the word spread about their company or their product or their store by people who actually use and appreciate their products than by paid advertising and things like that. So these companies will reward you. Sometimes it's with coupons, sometimes it's with store credit, and sometimes it's even with cash money. I love it when I find out that a store that I love has a program like this. A couple that we especially love and use. One is Azure Standard. We've been shopping there for as long as it's been available to us, because for a long time they didn't even have a drop in our state. But if you haven't heard of Azure, they're kind of like a big online health food store, health and bulk food co-op, I guess you would call it. They have a ton of different products, lots of organics. It's not all organic, but they do have a very firm policy on ingredients and standards for the products that they carry. There are a ton of things that I get there. Lots of bulk dry goods like wheat in 50-pound bags, beans, nuts, basically anything you would typically go to a natural food store for, because we don't have very much access to things like that locally in our area. They do have their own line of products, but they also carry lots of other brands as well, if they fit into their standards, their quality standards. And you order usually once a month, and it comes on a truck to a drop location where people go and pick up their order right off the back of the truck. It's a pretty cool experience. I got lucky enough to have a drop open like 10 minutes up the road from me, but people come from an hour away or more sometimes. But they have a referral or share Azure program where once you set up your account, they give you a link that you can share with anyone else you know who would like to shop there, who you think would like their products and their service. And if someone does sign up and they buy $100 worth of stuff within the first 3 months, Azure will give you $25 in store credit. And you can do this as many times as you want and build up as much credit as you want. And then, of course, you can use that to buy stuff. So you can get some or all of your order for free, which is awesome. I'll put a link down below to get more information about this program and how to join it. The other referral program like this that we use a lot is actually even better, because they give you cash money rather than just store credit, which is amazing. I don't know many other refer a friend programs that do that. This is the Wellness Shop Club that we've been shopping at for a couple, 2-3 years, and we love it. They have such a huge selection, very high quality standards also, plus everything is made in the USA. I think like 95% made in the USA and a few things that are made in Canada. But the important part is that it's not coming from overseas. There's absolutely nothing made in China. We get a ton of everyday products from the store, things like vitamins, snacks, cleaning and household products, personal care like your shampoo, lotion, that kind of stuff, skincare, cosmetics. The list goes on and on. It's the kind of stuff that we used to buy from like Walmart, Target, Costco, things like that. But this store makes better, safer versions without the big brand name price tag. You can check it out at shopabetterway.com. I'll have links down below and on the screen. One difference from Azure is that with this store, the items are shipped right to your door. You don't have to go anywhere to pick up your order. And they have probably the most rewarding referral program that I have ever experienced. So just like Azure, members who shop there get their own referral links to send out. And if they have people they know who they know would love the products as much as they do, or who they know would benefit from some of the products, or people they know who love buying American made, supporting American companies. Maybe it's just somebody that they know is sick of making the Bezos and Waltons richer, buying a bunch of imported junk. They can send their link to their friend and invite them to become members and experience the store. And if their friend does, then the store sends a thank you check at the end of the month to the person who referred them, which is actual cash money, not just store credit. Another difference from Azure and the Azure program is that Azure is going to pay you that credit once per friend that you refer, even if they keep shopping there. But these guys are going to give you a thank you check every single month for friends who keep shopping, which is also amazing and something that you don't see very often. Because with both stores, people do usually fall in love with the company and the philosophies and the products and keep shopping there. So it does make a difference. And of course, both of these companies do also have monthly sales each month, coupons, things like that. So if you shop smart each month and buy what's on sale, you can save big. But the biggest difference is being able to get that referral credit or referral check and basically get to shop for free, or even build an income stream, which is something that is so critical in this economy. And I would love to help you figure out how to do this. Next, let's look at freeze-dried sales. Before I jump into this, I just want to go over the benefits of freeze-dried food real quick, because I know that we have some new folks who may or may not know why freeze-dried food is so sought after by so many. You know, I always say freeze-dried food is the gold standard in food storage, and that's for a few main reasons. Number one is its far superior shelf life. Most freeze-dried items that have been professionally packaged for long-term storage will last 25 to 30 years with no refrigeration and no degradation. The second factor is the nutrition. The freeze-drying process maintains about 97 to 98% of the nutrition in the food, and it locks it in, which we know is not the case with other forms of food preservation. Generally, you lose at least 30% of some of the nutrients right off the bat with the processing. Even fresh food, the long journey that it takes to reach us in this global supply chain. And because it's not preserved as it's traveling, the nutrient content of that food is dropping significantly every day. Before it even reaches our shelves. And a third big reason that freeze-dried food is so sought after is the variety and the quality. There are so many foods that can be freeze-dried that can't be preserved any other way. So if we want to have access to those foods in emergency situations, we have to have them freeze-dried. And the freeze-drying process maintains the cellular structure of the food, which other preservation methods don't. They break that down. So in fact, commercial freeze drying operations even use flash freezing, which I'm going to teach more about that some other time, but without getting into a whole lot of detail, the flash freezing that's done in special like freezer units by commercial operations, it actually protects the food's cellular structure in a way that can't be done in a regular home freezer or home freeze dryer. That's why so many people I know who have freeze dryers usually have certain items that they actually prefer to buy rather than do themselves, because it's just better quality than what they do at home. When I learned about the flash freezing, that all just kind of made sense. Okay, so that's our little lesson in the benefits of freeze-dried foods. Now, I know there's a ton of people out there just like me who loved Thrive Life's monthly specials and just missed them so much because it helped guide us as we stocked our prepper pantry. It helped us get our food at the best prices, and it kind of helped us to build our stockpile gradually, just a little bit at a time, which is magic. Before you know it, just spending $100 or a couple hundred a month, and then all of a sudden you take a step back and you are shocked at how much you've actually been able to stock up pretty painlessly without even realizing it. Well, we have missed that monthly guidance, but for the last few months, we've had some new monthly specials. And what's pretty cool about these is that they've included some newly introduced products each month. There have been some big losses in the freeze-dried food industry lately. So to see rebuilding is a big relief for people like us who are looking around at what's going on in the world and realizing they need to be prepared for whatever drops in our laps next. So this month, January's monthly specials is pretty exciting because it has 3 brand new meats, freeze-dried meats. And we have talked about how important protein is for the prepper pantry. So to have these options is very exciting. For the specials, there's a specials pack that includes one of each of the 3 new meats, 1 hamburg, 1 diced chicken breast, and 1 sausage crumbles. And if you purchase the 3-pack, it is 20% off. And then you can choose subscribe and save for an extra 10%. So somewhere around 30% off buying that bundle on subscribe and save in January. And you know the drill with subscribe and saves. They're a tool that we use to save money. So obviously this is January. It's a January pack. You're not going to want to get that next month. So once your order has shipped or at any time in the next month, you just go in, take that off, add whatever else you want for the next month, skip, cancel, whatever you want to do. Now, these are number 10 cans, so approximately gallon-sized cans. If you don't want or need all 3, or you just can't spend that much money all at once, you can just get the cans individually with 10% off. And then, of course, the extra 10 for the subscribe and save, so around 20% off. Now, these are fully cooked meats. They are ready to just refresh and use in your dish or your recipe or however you would use them. You can also snack on them dry because they are fully cooked. It's a great low-carb snack. You know, I use a lot of freeze-dried meats in my meals in a jar. I love these because all I have to do is add water, cook super quickly, basically have a whole complete home-cooked meal that I know and approve of every ingredient that's in it. So if you're looking for recipe ideas, I'll put the link to my recipe site down below, or just go to wickedprepared.com and navigate to the recipes. Now, for those of you who loved Thrive Life Quality and Thrive Life Meats, if you remember, Thrive Life, the direct-to-consumer division, was closed, but the umbrella company doing the freeze drying remained open. They just sell only to commercial accounts. So this meat is being sourced from the same supplier, essentially. So this January deal is very exciting. I'm going to have a link down below, and I will put a code on the screen, or you can go to tryfreezedried.com/thrivalist and get everything you need there. While you're on the site checking out the January specials, a few other things that I recommend you look at this month. The dehydrated potato shreds, hash brown potatoes, those are on clearance for like 43% off. So they're a really great price right now. They're going super fast. I've seen a ton of people grabbing these. So check them out if there still are any left. The biggest savings is on the 6-pack. That's one thing that I did want to mention. If you look at the meats that I was talking about, the single cans of meats, for some reason, the default view when you open those pages is for the 6-pack case for those items. So at first glance, it looks like they're really expensive. So be sure to look around for the little drop-down box where you can change it to the single can if you're checking it out. that will show you the price for the single number 10 can that's on sale in January. I mean, you can buy it in a 6-pack that adds bulk savings. That's more savings, but it can be a sticker shock when people think they're going to look at 1 can and they see the price for 6. One other thing you should definitely check out on this site this month while you're there is there's some really, really good clearance prices on some Mountain House freeze-dried meals. Both the pouches, and the pouches are like single servings or 2 servings, I guess, and the number 10 cans that contain multiple servings. We've had a lot of Mountain House meals, and they're really good. They're one of probably 3 best brands that we've tried. And there's some really, really good prices right now. So I suggest checking that out as well. I'll have a link for those too. Another freeze-dried deal that's going on right now, and this is not for the whole month of January because these deals kind of come fast and furious. This is going on right now until January 13th, which also happens to be my birthday. And this deal is on freeze-dried breakfast items, which breakfast is something that a lot of people overlook and neglect when they're stocking their prepper pantry. But this is a heck of a deal because it's buy 7, get 4 free. Now, this food is sealed in Mylar bags, not cans. So a lot of people are familiar with the Mylar bags. And these are bags that are meant for long-term storage. They are thick, and a lot of people get thrown by the clear window on the bags because there are Mylar bags with a clear window that are not meant for long-term storage because there's a seam. The window is like a separate piece, but these are different. There is no seam. It's not a separate piece. It's just an area of the bag that's left uncolored. So it doesn't affect the integrity of the bag at all or the shelf life. Now, I'm a person who was used to cans with what I would buy for freeze-dried food. The only freeze-dried food that we had in Mylar bags was what we freeze-dried ourselves. But when I started buying these bags, I quickly came around to the bags and all the benefits. Number one, I cannot tell you how many damaged and dented cans I have received over the years. It's just part of life with shipping items like this. So the first thing I realized was with these bags, I'm never going to have to worry about dents or damage. And these come packed very tight into the box, very efficiently, very professionally. There's foam wrap and all kinds of padding. But the other thing I realized was when I open a can of freeze-dried food from our stash, there's always airspace at the top of the can. It can vary by brand. Some definitely more than others, but there's no way to avoid it. Even if a company fills to the tippy top, which most don't, there's going to be settling as the product, moves around in shipping. And as it moves around, it also is going to start to break and powder because the product is really fragile. So that actually leads to even lower fill because the powder condenses so much. So we realize we are using a certain percentage of our storage space to store air. Empty storage space in every can we have, which is, I don't know, hundreds, maybe thousands. So I noticed with these bags specifically, there isn't airspace left like in a can. But not only that, because there isn't the airspace and the food's not moving around because of that inside the package, there also isn't nearly as much breakage or powdering. In fact, I would almost say I've seen basically none, which is a huge bonus to me. You definitely have to make sure that your bags are protected so that rodents can't get into them because technically, theoretically, they could chew through the bags. But we have an old house. We deal with mice all the time. They've gotten into lots of things in our house, but never into our Mylar bags of freeze-dried food. I think because the bags are so thick, so there's no smell, there's nothing that's going to entice them at all or make them think there could be food in there. But there's definitely ways to store your bags to make sure that that can't happen, just to be on the safe side. Never say never is a good rule for every prepper to live by. And you know what? Actually, I always thought of my cans as being rodent proof, but I heard from a viewer just the other day whose daughter had a mouse chew through the metal lid of a can of freeze-dried food. So like I said, never say never. It's always smart to take precautions no matter what your food is stored in. But anyhow, I'm totally off on a tangent here. This is a great deal on breakfast foods. There are all kinds of different items to choose from sausages to all kinds of different potatoes, eggs, all kinds of eggs, scrambled eggs, fried eggs, cheese omelets. There's bacon, there's biscuits. There's so much good stuff. You can go to tryfreezedried.com to see all the different items that are included and to get the coupon code that you'll need if you want to take advantage of the deal. But anytime there isn't a coupon code available, just remember our code, wickedprepared. You can use that to get 15% off at any time. And just remember, tryfreezedried.com because it will always be updated with the latest sales and coupon codes. Because like I said, the company has multiple sales a month and they're usually shorter duration, so it's easy to miss them, but there's some really, really amazing deals. We do have a prepper sale alert system that you can sign up for by texting me. For my regular system, you can text alert to my number. I'm going to put all this info down below and on the screen so you can find it because I know it's a lot. Text alert to join my regular service. And that's fine for the monthly specials. I try not to be annoying, so I try to only text like 2 to 3 times a month, unless I'm like answering a question that somebody asked me or something, of course. But like I said, these deals come fast and furious, and there are some really amazing deals. So I had people who were saying, please just text me anytime that there's a sale or a coupon code. Like if I'm not interested, I can just ignore it, but please, I don't want to miss out on something that I really want. So I decided to give a second option for those people like that, to let me know that they don't want to miss a sale. So if you're one of those people, you can text Insider and I will put you on my Insider list. And I may text more often, like 2 to 3 times a week, maybe more very rarely, like Black Friday week. I think I texted more than that, something like that, but usually no more. And it could definitely be less times that there's not much going on. And I don't text in the middle of the night or anything like that, like super early in the morning. I'm very mindful of time zones, I promise. But head on over to tryfreezedried.com to check out this sale in case that there's something that you need in your prepper pantry. And one more thing that we really, really love about this company is that it is 100% American made, American sourced, American freeze-dried, American owned, all the things. And I know that's important to a lot of you, the way that it is to us. And there's some things that we just really cannot find American made. It's just not really practical. So when there is an option, we love to support it. Okay, moving on. Another thing to consider when you're looking at bargains is seasonality. Things tend to be lower in price when they're in season and they're plentiful in the stores. That's also when things tend to go on sale. And also, you're going to actually get better quality when you buy in season. If you buy things, I'm talking produce, things like that. If you buy things out of season, they've usually been picked really, really underripe. More so than usual, because they've usually had to travel really long distances. And so by the time you're purchasing that food at your grocery store, it's actually lost most of its nutritional value, whatever it had to begin with, because that early harvest also cuts that way down. The nutrition never even develops in the food. In January, look for deals and sales on things like apples and pears, citrus fruits like oranges, grapefruits, avocados, vegetables. You're going to be looking for your root vegetables, things like beets, carrots, rutabagas, parsnips, potatoes, your cruciferous vegetables, things like cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and kale. These are super nutritious also as well. They're really, really good for you. So that is a bonus. Now, coming at this with a prepper mindset, fresh produce is not shelf stable. So we're looking at 2 things. Number 1, buying in season just to help keep your costs down, to stick within your budget. That's going to be financial preparedness. And because cutting our grocery budget, like I mentioned before, it can leave more wiggle room in the budget for bigger preparedness purchases or for building up savings, which is important too. But also, if you find deals on produce like these, think about how you can preserve it, make it shelf stable, build your food supply with it. Many of these things can be canned. You can can, potatoes, carrots, cabbage. I have canned coleslaw. It's not like a mayonnaise-based coleslaw. It's more like a sweet and sour kind of cabbage slaw that you can either eat as it is or you can mix the mayo in after you open it. Haul out your dehydrator and get to work with that. You can dehydrate kale. You can dehydrate potatoes, all kinds of things like that. If you have a freeze dryer, you can preserve just about anything. That is really the best way to preserve for the long term because you don't lose the nutrients like you do with the other methods. Some of these foods can be pickled, like pickled beets, pickled Brussels sprouts, so good. You can ferment. You can make fermented veggies, sauerkraut, things like that. That's another old-fashioned kind of no-grid way of preserving your fresh produce. So as you look for deals, think about how you can put the food up for later to increase your self-sufficiency. January is a great time to be warming up the kitchen, running those canners, or learning how to can if you don't know how, if it's something that you've never done before. It can become addictive. If you've been looking at getting a home freeze dryer and you've really, really dug in and looked at all the pros and all the cons, and you're thinking about taking the plunge, there are some January sales going on freeze dryers. So I'll drop links to a couple of sales that I've seen down below. Of course, running a freeze dryer puts out heat as well, which is a negative in the summer, but in the winter, that's actually one of the pros that I had on my list years ago when we were debating on whether or not we wanted to get a freeze dryer. Other things to look for on sale in January, other than those special occasion meats, like I talked about before, January is more of a time to look for sales on chicken and pork. So look for rock bottom prices there. One thing I always look for though is clearance markdown stickers, and that is pretty much how I buy most of my meat. Grocery store, rock bottom sales, and markdown stickers. Like I mentioned, you just need to deal with it in a timely fashion. Dairy is another place that you may find sales and markdowns in January, although without a freeze dryer, there may not be a whole lot of preservation that you can do there. But I was super excited though. I was doing my grocery order just the other day. I noticed I needed squeezy sour cream, and for some reason they were marked down to $1. $1. I ordered like 5 or 6 of them because that is an amazing deal. It was the lowest price per ounce from every sour cream in the store, including the giant like generic tub that I usually buy. And it was a name brand. So I was super excited to share that with everyone. But I actually went into the store, like physically went into the store when I did my pickup. And it's marked a manager's special, and there was a ton of it. So I'm thinking it's probably just my store because they probably got an overstock delivered and needed to reduce their inventory. But it might be worth checking your store just in case. In January, you're still going to find deals on baking items, baking needs. These deals started back in the late fall for the holiday baking season, but they are still going on. Also look for deals on soups and broths, other cozy kind of foods like that. Macaroni and cheese. There's lots of deals on rice and rice products. Breakfast foods is another thing that usually goes on sale in January. Actually, January is National Oatmeal Month. So look for things like cereal, granola, oatmeal, any kind of oatmeal-based products and brands. They're going to be running sales, promotions, things like that. And that is a great prepper pantry item. Amazon has one of their save $10 when you buy $30 deals that's going on. Right now, it does go through the end of January, and it includes a lot of these kind of items, breakfast items, macaroni and cheese, baking items, that kind of stuff. I'll show you where you can find that down below. You can also usually find deals on cold and flu over-the-counter meds in January, so it can be a good time to restock your medicine cabinet and make sure that you have plenty on hand for emergencies when you can't get to the store. Of course, January is the time when people are making those resolutions and vowing to be healthier in the new year ahead. So being at your best physical health is an important part of preparedness. In this time of year, you can find a lot of deals on all sorts of things that are related to health, exercise, and fitness. And some of this doesn't really apply to preparedness, other than the fact that, like I mentioned, being physically fit and is part of preparedness. But I do think it's a good idea to keep certain things like protein powders for protein shakes, for instance, on hand. And this can be a great time to stock up on that, as well as any other nutritional supplements that you use and would want to be sure to have on hand during an emergency or disaster. You may not be able to replenish your supply, and that's going to be the worst possible time to have a change in your routine or be without something that your body is used to. So building an advanced supply is key. And protein, especially like those protein shakes that I talked about, protein is a vital part of our diet, and it's something that is often lacking in a lot of prepper pantries. People are always looking to add more protein to their preps. So this would be a good thing to stock and look for deals on if it is something that you use. Protein shakes have the added bonus that they don't need to be cooked or heated, so they're very easy to prepare during an emergency. They can usually be used as a meal substitute or replacement, or just a supplement to meals. So they could definitely be used during an emergency situation, whether it was just a few hours or a few days or weeks or more. Ways to fill your belly and give you some nutrition without too much effort is key. One thing I can't recommend enough when you're looking for grocery and household deals all year long, no matter what time of year it is to keep a price book. This can be something physical, like a notebook, or it can be a doc in your phone. It can be something really high tech, like an app, but keeping track of, number one, what you pay for a certain item at each different store you shop at. And number two, what is the lowest sale price you usually see on an item, and when and where you see that. That can allow you to make the best purchasing decisions and to really know when something is a good deal, because something might be on sale at one store. It may still be cheaper to buy that item at Walmart or Sam's Club, for instance, or Dollar Tree, even if it's not on sale at those stores. Keeping track of prices and sales like this can also help you recognize sale cycles and know when and how often to expect a rock bottom price on any given item, which is when you want to stock up. Most sales go in cycles, anywhere from usually 6 to 12 weeks generally. And there are usually rebates, coupons, and other things that all kind of coincide at one certain point to give you the best possible price on an item. I have traditionally used a spreadsheet style price list with a line for each item that I typically buy and a column for each store that I would typically shop at to track the prices. I did just download an app that's designed for price tracking. So I'm going to play with that a little bit and see if it makes sense to move into the digital space for that. So if it does, I'll share that with you. But one thing that is really great about this day and age that we live in, even if you were using pen and paper for your price sheet, is that we have access to so much information right on our cell phones. You can track prices at just about any store out there right from your phone, from the comfort of your home, or you can do it while you're standing in the grocery store aisle doing your shopping. We have access to so much data, from how much it costs at each store to whether or not it's in stock at any given time, anything we could possibly need to know to make informed purchasing decisions. As we move towards the end of January, we are going to start seeing Super Bowl deals. Now, a lot of this won't apply to prepping. You're going to see things like sodas, chips, big screen TVs, but look for deals on things like nuts and salsas, for instance. Those are a few notably stock up worthy items that I see go on sale around this time. One more thing I do want to mention, and that is water. With all the focus on fitness at this time of year, you're probably going to start seeing some sales on water, bottled water, cases of water, things like that. And it's always a good idea to stock up on more water. Make sure that you are rotating the supply of water that you have. And no matter how much you have, you probably don't have enough. And starting a new year, it's always a good idea to take inventory and try to do a little bit better. So keep an eye out for deals on water and grab extra water whenever you can. That is one of the most important, probably the most important prep that we all need to start with and focus on. And one more little trick that I did want to share before we're done that I use for saving money on purchases all year long is Ibotta. Ibotta is a money-saving rebate app. Now, I use several different apps like this, but Ibotta is the one I use most because it is very easy to use. It's one of, if not the easiest. So if you're going to only use one, I recommend this one. Apps like this are kind of taking the place of paper coupons in the couponing world. And before you roll your eyes at the word couponing, I built a lot of my prepper pantry with things that I got for free or better than free with couponing deals. So it can definitely be worth it. How this works is you just check out the Ibotta app before you shop. You download the app, you sign up, you check out the app before you shop, select the deals that you're going to use, and then they give you the cash back after you purchase. With Walmart, it is so simple because you can connect your Walmart account when you get it set up, and it just goes through automatically. You don't even have to scan a receipt. And something that's new, kind of more recently, they will even sometimes email me and tell me that I missed a rebate on something that I bought. And then it gives me the chance to go in and submit it even after the fact. And there are rebates for just about everything, from food to personal care to cleaning products, pet products, pretty much anything you could think of. And they have any brand rebates where it's going to give you a small rebate on any brand that you buy, no matter what brand, if you buy that type of item. And then it usually goes along with another rebate for a specific brand. So you could earn more if you buy that brand. Some notable deals right now for preppers in the Ibotta app. There is a freebie for a protein shake. And this is the second time I've seen this one recently. I already did it once, like just a couple weeks ago, I think. This is one thing that Ibotta is well known for, is freebies. They have free items all the time. They also have this rebate on Energizer lights. I use this rebate a lot when I'm buying headlamps, and I've also gotten Energizer power failure backup lights with this one as well. Another great item is right now, they have a ton of rebates on Food Saver vacuum sealers and all of the accessories to go with them. Now, you can buy the items in the store, or you can order them or do pickup. Lots of different ways you can do it. If you're in the store, you can even scan the item and just make sure that it qualifies for the rebate, that you're getting the right thing. So if you're looking at a rebate in Ibotta and then you go to your Walmart app and you see the items, sometimes the items have the same amount in Walmart cash available. So I actually use that to help me make sure that I'm getting the right item for the Ibotta rebate, but I always do the rebates through Ibotta. You can't do both. You can't do the Ibotta rebate and the Walmart cash for the same item in the same transaction. But there's a few reasons why I choose Ibotta over doing it on the Walmart app. Number one, Ibotta has bonuses. They have bonuses going on all the time. So right now they have a $5 bonus for doing 10 rebates. That comes out to an extra 50 cents per rebate that you do. And the freebie rebates count towards these as well. This one is one of their midweek rebates. So it lasts for about 4 days, a 4-day period. And they usually do 2 of these a week. So once this one ends, another one will start. The dollar amount and the number of items you need to buy can vary. But they also have another one going on right now, for instance, which is $5 for redeeming 21 rebates. And this one's been going on for about a week and a half since the beginning of January. So, and the thing is, the rebates you do will count for both bonuses. So you can earn both at the same time. You can be earning both at the same time. So I could actually earn the longer $5 bonus, but as I'm doing that, I can also be earning multiple shorter bonuses within, and it really adds up. So yeah, the shorter ones, they have about 2 a week. And then like when this longer bonus ends, another one is probably going to begin. It's probably going to go till the end of the month. So doing the rebates through Ibotta rather than Walmart Cash, you can actually earn a lot more because of the bonuses. And then another thing is with the Walmart Cash, you can only get your rebate on one item per transaction. But with Ibotta, they often give you multiple redemptions at the same time, up to 5 per transaction, depending. So like with the food savers, it only gives you one. You're probably not going to get more than one food saver, but something like a can of vegetables, a box of muffin mix, something like, for example, they might give you 5 multiple redemptions where you could buy 5 of those in the same transaction and get that rebate on all of them. And it would actually count however many times you do it. Like if you do it 5 times, it's going to count for 5 rebates in that bonus. So each rebate will tell you if it's good for multiple and how many. Like I said, it's up to 5. I've never seen one more than 5. And then of course, Ibotta has lots of rebates on things that don't have a Walmart Cash available. So it just makes sense for me to use the Ibotta most of the time. And of course, if you use up all your rebates on Ibotta, then the Walmart Cash option will still be there if you want to use it to buy another item if it hasn't expired. So this is a tool that I've used a ton that is so worth it. I've earned almost $4,000 back with it. In fact, I'm so close to that 4K club. And Ibotta also has a Refer a Friend program as well. So if you use it and you love it and you have friends or family members that you think would love it too, you can send them a link and then Ibotta will reward you. I'm going to put my link down below for anyone who doesn't already have Ibotta and wants to try it out. If I have room, I'll put a few of my other favorite apps down there as well, because they often can work together for some really, really amazing deals. If you use my link to sign up today, Ibotta will give you an extra $5 in your account just for submitting your first rebate. There are tons of stores that it works with. It's not just Walmart. That's just what I was using for an example. So go ahead and check it out and have fun with it. Get some money back. I hope this has been helpful, giving you some ideas and some areas to focus on. Like I said, I'm hoping to continue this series every month, once a month. So let me know down in the comments what types of items you're looking for deals on. And this is where I'm also looking for help from you guys from my community. So share down in the comments what kind of deals you're seeing this month and what kind of clearance deals you found, all of those types of things. There's lots of stores that I don't have in my area. Typically, sales tend to be the same in different areas. The same types of brands are running promotions, but you never know. I actually don't have a lot of great grocery store sales where we live, like people do in other areas. There are lots of different things going on, and it would be great if we could all work together and help each other find the best prepper deals out there. I gave you guys all the info a little bit earlier on my text alert systems for sales, but we also have a Deals and Steals Facebook group for you where you can join, where I post deals that I find, coupon codes, all the things. So go check that out and join the group. I'll post a link for that down below. And I will also post a link where you can sign up for our email newsletter as well. Lots of ways that you can stay in touch with us. Besides subscribing to the channel, of course, and showing up every week to watch the videos. We love you guys. So definitely check out shopabetterway.com and tryfreezedry.com. Those are 2 great American-made, family-owned companies to check out and support. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a calendar emoji down in the comments and check out this video next for a full overview of how to build your prepper pantry one category at a time. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.